stop overcooking your voiceovers. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Voiceover Blueprint YouTube channel, where I try to give you actionable little bite-sized nuggets to help you grow and sustain your voiceover career. My name's Mike Cathcote. I'm a full-time voice actor and author of the book, The Voiceover Blueprint, which is the book that I wish I had when I started voiceover. But if you click on the link in the description below, you can actually get the ebook and the audiobook for less than $10 plus 4 free gifts. You ever listen back to an audition or a job that you've done and wonder why it sounds just so perfect and kind of performative and reedy? Well, that's what I call overcooking. And there's a lot of ways that you can overcook your voiceovers, and that's what we're going to break down today. So a lot of brand new voice talent, they tend to do this, and that is to try to sound perfect. And I mentioned it on here before, but perfection is the enemy of voiceover. If you try too hard to be too perfect and to totally over-enunciate every single word in the script and try to just sound too announcery, that is going to kill your performance. It really starts to sound unnatural. And of course, in these days of AI, the last thing you want to do is sound unnatural. What people are craving right now is real and conversational and just your natural way of speaking. So by the end of this video, you're going to have some actionable steps that you can take right now to sound less announcery and stop overcooking your voiceovers. Okay, let's talk about overcooking and what overcooking sounds like. Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to overcooking is just trying to be too articulate, trying to just overpronounce every single syllable of every single word. This automatically makes you sound stiff and robotic. This just instantly kills the flow and the authenticity of your read, and it makes the listener just hear the performance and not the actual message. Okay, the next thing that will really overcook your reads is hitting hard T's, that T sound. Basically, what you want to do is you want to take the T sound and kind of shave it off to more of a D sound. And here's an example. The word important. If you say it like important, then it's going to sound stiff and reedy. But if you say it like important, or maybe the word better, if you say better, that sounds stiff. But if you just say better, like we normally say it in a conversation, that sounds more natural. When you hit the hard T's, it sounds much more formal and stiff, but when you soften those to that D sound, it just helps things flow better. Those hard T's can be kind of like a speed bump to an otherwise natural read. The next thing, and I've talked about this before in a previous video, is using the long versions of the words A and the. If you use those in the long form, which almost nobody does in regular conversation, it starts to sound, performative and stiff. Whereas if you shorten those, instead of saying a and the, you say and the, that's going to sound like you normally sound in a regular conversation. Okay, now I want to talk about why this actually happens. When people are brand new to voiceover, there's a pressure to sound professional. And that pressure, especially, as soon as you sit down behind a microphone and hit record, your brain switches gears and goes into performance mode. And it wants to sound professional, but that is going to kill your natural reads. Just remember, modern voiceover, they want connection, not precision. So be relaxed, and I know that's easier said than done, but it will come as you go through the reps and you spend more time behind the microphone. You'll get more relaxed and things will start to flow better, and you can start to sound like you normally would if you were just talking to a friend or a family member. Another reason why this happens is that there is kind of a fear of being too casual, and people worry about it sounding, sloppy. But in reality, casual and that kind of a read is more relatable. It's more trustworthy because it resonates with people because that's how we talk to each other. A lot of people who come into voiceover, they may have sort of a stage background or a performance background, and they tend to project their voice. And remember, in voiceover, you're not speaking to the back of the room. You're speaking to a person who's right in front of you. When that microphone is this close to your mouth, You don't have to project. You just bring it down just like you're talking to someone who's literally right in front of you. The last reason that this can happen is that when people are reading, they tend to read in that more formal way. They tend to read in a more perfect way. Whereas when you're talking, there's a lot of kind of different kinds of rhythms and flows that you can kind of go through, even just reading one single sentence. So because of that, when we read out loud, we tend to translate the formality of reading in our head into the spoken word, and that will kill your reads. Okay, the next big tip I've got for you is using contractions to soften the edges of the read. A lot of the scripts that you're going to get are not going to have contractions in them, and that's okay because it's up to you to make them sound more natural. And by the way, don't worry about taking their words and making it into a contraction, because I can count on one hand, in fact, one finger, how many times someone has sent a project back to me to read it verbatim where I've changed, a word or a couple of words into a contraction. If the goal is to sound natural, if you take their words, their two words, and put them in a contraction, it's going to sound more natural, and they're going to be fine with it. Real humans in conversation, we use contractions all the time. Instead of I am, we use I'm. Instead of we are, we're using we're. So those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. And remember, if they have it in the two-word form on the script, don't worry about changing it. So remember, using contractions when there aren't any in the script is the fastest way to stop overcooking your reads. So the next tip is very similar to the contractions issue, and that is to relax your pronunciation. So instead of saying going to, you can say gonna. Now, only do this if they're looking for a conversational read. I mean, if you're doing something that is a very formal read, like maybe a medical read or something like that, you want to stick to how they've written it on the script. But things like gonna and wanna and kinda and shoulda, those are all ways that we talk to each other. Remember, you're not speaking to an audience, kind of like what I said before. Don't project your voice. You're speaking to someone who is directly in front of you. In fact, it helps to picture a face, and it can be a generic face, it can be a friend or a family member. Picture a face that you're speaking to and pretend that that person is right in front of you as opposed to trying to project across the room. Okay, here's a few tips that you can use to kind of help break that overcookiness to your read. The first is just the messy read-through. And this is just to read the script very sloppily. Just kind of blow through it. Don't really worry about, pronouncing everything correctly. Just kind of blow through it one time through just to kind of get that first read out of the way. The next way you can practice this is the whisper pass. And this is just taking the script and reading it in a whisper. What this does is it forces you to bring everything down and close in so that you're not projecting. The next way is pretty simple, and that is to go ahead and overcook the read one time before you record. If you read through it and you intentionally overcook it and just try to be word and syllable perfect on the read, that'll kind of get it out of your system so that the next time you read when you're recording, it's going to come out much more naturally. Think about who is going to be the end listener here. Is it going to be a casting director? Is it going to be the end client for a final project? If they think that you are trying too hard, then it's going to take them out of the story or out of the message, and it's just going to put the focus on you instead of that message. Okay, what does a de-overcooked voiceover sound like? Well, first and foremost, the T sounds become D sounds, better becomes better. The short versions of A and the, adding contractions, we've instead of we have, that kind of thing. And then just more of the woulda, coulda, shoulda, gonna, that kind of stuff. You're also going to have an imperfect rhythm. It's not going to be so metronomic and staccato. It's going to be ups and downs, and some words will trail off and others will spike, and you'll speed up and you'll slow down, and it'll sound more like we talk in a normal conversation. Think about things like, little micro pauses or, hesitations and those kinds of things, maybe elongating certain words just to make it sound like you're just coming up with it off the top of your head. So remember, overcooking your reads comes from trying too hard. A lot of times in voiceover, less is more. So if you're trying too hard, it's going to come out stiff and robotic and rehearsed and performative. But if you relax a little bit and use some of these techniques, it's going to flow better. You're going to be more natural. You're going to slow down and you're going to sound more like you. So try not to sound perfect. Try to sound believable. And the more you do this, the more these techniques will just kind of happen instinctively and you won't have to try to remember them. Let me know down in the comments what you think of these techniques. Hopefully it's going to help you really break the habit of overcooking your reads. Like I said before, a lot of brand new voice actors and even some people who've been doing this a while fall into this trap. So leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can get these videos when they first drop. That's the best way to support our channel, and certainly appreciate that. And if you want a quick guide on how to prepare that script before you hit the record button, then check this out.